Hey, welcome to Aussie Online Growing on Shopify. This is episode 141. I doubled my Shopify revenue last month compared to the same month last year, and I've got the receipts to share with you today. My ROAS was 2.5, and my email revenue jumped by 30%. These are real stats. They're not clickbaity at all. I want to share them all with you today about my revenue from July 2025 and how it compares to July 2024. I want you to be able to take away from this episode why strategy is so important when it comes to advertising on Meta and also with your email marketing, in looking at both those sides of what I honestly think are the same coin in growing your online store, which is whether it's on Shopify or Wix or WooCommerce and all those things. Probably Shopify. If you're listening to this episode, it's more than likely an e-commerce store on Shopify, or maybe you're a bricks and mortar looking to grow online. Whatever the case may be, this episode is really about why strategy is important, and when you're deliberate on the strategy and like not burying your head in the sand about what's going on, but really the creative led marketing first business owner, small business owner, your brand needs you to be, then you can think about strategy, lean into strategy, craft a strategy and execute it, and then pivot based on the results to ensure that you continue to grow your business, your small business profitably. So for real, these stats are true. I'm really proud of them. So I'm a bit of a boasty episode. I don't usually boast. I feel like it's a little anti-Australian actually to be boasting about something. We have a bit of a tall poppy syndrome in this country, so I'm a bit worried if I put myself out there, I'm going to cop some flack. But it is true. I have doubled my revenue in July 2025, more than double, not more, sorry, I should correct that, 97%. My revenue is up 97% in July 2025 on July 2024. My ROAS and my ads for July was 2.5, return on ad spend. I didn't look at what they were last year. And my email revenue is up 30% on what it was last year, the same time. So let me give you a few other stats. My traffic, so my sessions are up on Shopify 71%. My conversion rate is pretty much the same as last year. It's at 1.4. So I think it's increased 2%. That's sort of, basically the same. So my conversion rate's pretty well steady. My average order value is up 27%. So my average order value is now $59. So it's up 27% on the same time last year. My orders are up 60%. So I have, packed and shipped and sent out the door 60% more orders than the same time last year, which makes sense. My revenue is almost double. My average order value is up. So I have done more orders, but obviously not double the amount of orders because my average order value is up. My email revenue is up 30% on the same time last year. So for July, my email revenue, Klaviyo revenue, made up 26% of the total Shopify revenue. So my total Shopify revenue, 26% of that was from Klaviyo, and it's increased 30% on July last. And my last stat I've got to share with you is my sales attributed to Facebook are up 152% for July based off last year. That's a lot of stats and probably just a lot of numbers. If you happen to zone out for 2 minutes just then, you would have missed all of those data points. If this episode is a bit data heavy for you, I apologize. I know some of you love the data, and other episodes appeal to other people. I know I would much rather more mindset episodes, more encouraging episodes, and things, or more thoughts about what's going on in the industry versus data. And some of you love the data and the strategy and the nitty gritty. So this one's a little bit like that. So I do want to share with you the first lesson from what those stats I just shared is that quality traffic matters. I actually shared a little bit about this in episode 140 last week, where we can be sucked into traffic campaigns, especially if you talk to someone from Meta. If you get a call from Meta or one of those little banners that pops up encouraging you to speak to Meta, they're going to encourage you to start a traffic campaign to get some traffic to your website. Those campaigns are generally junk. Unless you have GA4 installed, you can go and look for yourself at the quality of the traffic that Meta is driving. So potentially, if you are having bad results at the moment with Meta, or you feel like your results are just not cutting it, they should be better, and you're not you're not profitable, it's costing you more than it should to be advertising, there might be an issue with your traffic, and not just because you're doing a traffic campaign, which you probably shouldn't be, but what sort of traffic is Meta driving? Like, potentially the users aren't great. Maybe Advantage Plus shopping isn't working for you, and you need to try detailed interest audience and give Meta some really clear guidelines on who you need to be coming to your website. So it might actually be a traffic issue. Maybe the audience you are targeting, if you are targeting an audience, is too expensive. Maybe the CPMs are really high. CPMs are a combination of different factors. It's to do with your creative, the CPM, but it's also to do with your niche and how competitive the niche is that you are targeting. So if you are in a very competitive space or industry, your CPMs might be really high. So that might also be a clue to you that the type of traffic you are getting is too expensive for you, is not good quality. There's probably other ways you could get quality traffic for cheaper if your CPMs are really high. So quality traffic is what's important. And I will die on this hill that Meta is the place to get it. You can absolutely do organic social media. You should be doing organic social media. The accounts that do the best with Meta, including my clients, for real, my clients, 2 of my clients are really on top of their organic social media, and their ads reflect it. 2 of my other clients are never post organically on social media because they obviously they live very busy lives. They're busy people like we all are, but they have careers and commitments, and they just find the whole idea of organic social media completely overwhelming, which many of us do. And unfortunately, their ads also reflect it. They're just results are intermittent. They don't stick. They're just not great. But 2 of my clients who are really on top of their organic social media, their ads results also reflect that, and they have lots of creative to test. Their ads find feet quicker, they resonate faster, and winners stand out quicker as well. So quality traffic matters, and Meta is genuinely, I believe, the place to find it in 2025. Your customers are there. They are on Instagram, they're on Facebook, they're on Messenger, they're on all the other platforms that Meta advertises on that your ad can appear. One of my ads appeared in some bizarre place. I can't remember where it was. I think I had a setting turned on. I went and turned it off because I thought, I was like, I'm not paying for my ads to show here. I forget where it was, but it was so out left field. I was like, what on earth is my ad doing there? So I checked what my settings were. I think I turned off audience network, and I also turned off multi-advertiser settings because I wasn't spending money to advertise there. That wasn't what I wanted my ads to show. The second lesson I want to share with you from my July stats is that boosting your average order value is worth your time. So my average order value is up 27%, nearly a third from July last year, and that is 100% worth your time. I installed 2 apps that I have held off doing for so long. I installed an upsell app. I have talked about the workaround of doing an upsell. I used Klaviyo for years to do my post-purchase upsell, which has always performed well for me, but never as well, obviously, as what an upsell app is going to do. And they're expensive. There's a reason they're expensive, because they work. But the point is, potentially it will work at enough volume for you. It's worthwhile spending the money. If you're a brand new e-commerce store just starting out, you may not want to spend the $100 a month on upsell apps and in-cart upsell, gifty, cute little gamification things. That may not be worth your dollars. You may be better off spending that money on ads and getting people to your website and then getting them into your email. That's what I've done for several years in growing my e-commerce store. But in July, I decided, with the rising cost of ads, the rising cost of advertising, the rising cost per purchase, it is costing me more to get a first-time customer now than July last year, that's for sure. Hey, what's the very next step for you in growing online? If you have an e-commerce store, or you're looking for clients, you have a service-based business, you can reach out to me for one-on-one support on a project-by-project basis. I'm like an anti-agency, little mini agency on my own. I don't offer long retainer packages for brand new clients. I want you to feel confident. Well, in 2024, my revenue that came directly from email marketing was 36% of my whole revenue across the year. And my revenue for 2024 was increased 30% on 2023 results. So I'm definitely in a good position to support you. I've been told I'm the baby budget Facebook ads specialist because I can work with a very small daily budget or a large daily budget. It's really dependent on what you're looking for as a business and what your immediate goals are, that I can guide you on what is the best path towards success for your business. You can reach out to me at aussieonlinegrowingonshopify.com.au. In fact, you can actually put an appointment straight in my calendar. We can chat about your business for like 25 minutes about what struggles you're having, what your immediate goals are, kind of the stage of business you find yourself at. I'm really excited to have the potential to work with you. I encourage you to head to the website where you can book yourself a free discovery call and we can chat about how I can support your business in getting the results that you need to grow online next. Significantly more. There's just more competition on the platform. You need to be smarter about what people do when they get to your website. So I knew that trying to increase my average order value was probably going to be an easy win for me in the sense of making my ads more cost effective by increasing my average order value. I actually also dropped my free shipping threshold quite significantly because I wanted to see more people get from the cart to the checkout to purchasing. And I know that there was some friction in there because my free shipping threshold was so high. It was high for a reason. And do I regret dropping it? No, I definitely don't regret dropping my free shipping threshold, but I'm absolutely now spending more money than ever on getting parcels out the door. But the other side to that is now I've gone up a band level in my shipping. So with Australia Post, I'm now on band 5, which is the highest band I can have inside my account. There's band 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and I'm now on band 5. So in that sense, each parcel is cheaper for me now than ever before with Australia Post. So it makes sense for me to try and drop my free shipping threshold to continue driving that bulk of sales, because it's only with the volume of sales that my band with Australia Post will stay that high, which you guys know. If you have Australia Post and you use Australia Post, your band is only going to stay as high as your volume of parcels are. So I'm glad I dropped my free shipping threshold. It helped increase my average order value, and also adding an in-cart upsell, like a one-click. I use Zipify, so well-known one, Zipify post-purchase upsell, I think it is, and Monster Cart as well for like in-cart suggestions and gamification, like you little cute little bits and pieces you get to get to free shipping. Spend this much more for free shipping, spend this much more to get a free gift. I've done a few things, and I'm glad I did. It's increased my average order value. Whether those things have been cost neutral, I think I'm actually in front based on the fact that my shipping per parcel now has dropped with Australia Post, and my average order value has also gone up now because of using these apps. I think I'm in front as far as the cost of these things per month for sure. I don't know how much though, but I'm confident that it's paying off for me. But if you don't have the volume of orders, it potentially won't pay off for you. Like I said, if you're starting out and you haven't got the volume of orders, you may be better off spending $100 a month on your ads and then helping nurture those people through email. The second lesson I have, no, that was lesson 2. Lesson 3 I have is email is the silent revenue driver. Oh, I love email so much. People so bag on email, and I try and bag on email as often as possible because I really need to remind myself that email is dying. We all probably feel like that. And I'm as ruthless with my inbox as the next person. I delete pretty well everything before I even claw back what I actually want to keep. So I'm as guilty as the next person of not opening hardly any emails and deleting all of them off the bat, even from people I want to see. I get emails a couple of times a week from 2 podcasters that I love and follow religiously, but also from a couple of local brands that I'm as ruthless as the next person when it comes to my inbox too, and I'm sure you are as well. I get emails from brands that I love and I delete them, but I still love the brand and I buy from them often. So email is definitely not what it used to be. So your Klaviyo metrics are important. You need to be paying attention to them, but don't hang your hat on them, because we are all deleting a lot of emails and never opening them, even from people we love to hear from. So don't get too concerned about your Klaviyo metrics if your revenue is still strong with Klaviyo, if you are still emailing regularly with Klaviyo. Your deliverability is the key metric you want to pay attention to, but a lot of the other metrics like open rate, click rate, I like to look at, I pay attention to, and for my clients, I look after email marketing for them, and for a couple of them, and both of them have strong deliverability. One of them has really great open rates and click rates. The other one has average open rate and click rates, but the one with the average open rates and click rates gets a better revenue per recipient than the other person. So all of that to say it's very individual depending on your business and your customers, how often they come back, whether they're buying like again and again, or if they're just buying one off. So I love email. I love email so much because it's driving nearly 30% of my revenue. 26% of my revenue in July came directly from my Klaviyo email flows and campaigns, which is an increase on 30% of what the revenue was in July 2024. It's still working. My revenue from email went up in July based off of last year. So email is still working. And I just encourage you to start utilizing that platform more if you are not, because it is the cheapest revenue source. It is the cheapest advertising method you will ever do outside of organic social media, maybe, but far more targeted than organic social media. Email will absolutely drive like revenue for you, actual dollars, actual orders to your small business and to your Shopify business and your Shopify e-commerce store. So it proves that consistent emailing still works. Flows work, consistent email campaigns work. Don't ignore email. Like, let it complement your ads. Don't chase ads. I feel like in this day and age, maybe more now than ever, potentially because Meta's moving to so much AI learning, there's a lot of tendency in the online world and gurus to talk all about meta ads for driving revenue and scaling and growing online. A little bit like actually COVID was in 2020 and all the crazy spending we were all doing online. It feels a bit like that sort of frenzy this year as well. But don't fall for it. Like, ads is always a part of growing your business. It's never the whole story. And email is still a significant part, or should be a significant part of you in growing online. My email revenue is 26%. So my Shopify revenue in July, 26% of all that revenue was just from email. It's actually higher than that too. It would be more than 26% because a year ago, I noticed that Klaviyo was taking my subscription sales. So if there was a subscription box payment running on a particular day of the month, if there had been an email from Klaviyo that I sent, maybe like the day before the subscription box payment ran or 2 days before, Klaviyo was sucking all of that revenue from the subscription renewals and claiming it as their own. So the attribution was wrong. So Klaviyo was attributing my subscription box payments to them. I don't know, these platforms all do this. They all do the same. Klaviyo was taking revenue that wasn't theirs, the same as Meta does the same thing too. So I changed my attribution window inside Klaviyo, which is not a usual window. So if you haven't got a subscription box payment of any type or a subscription product, your Klaviyo settings, attribution settings will be clearer, will be correct, will be better. So mine are more locked down. So when 26% of all my revenue came from email, that's on a very locked down attribution window of 24 hours, whereas a usual attribution window for Klaviyo is like 7 days. So in that sense, I could be confident to say more than 26% of my revenue came from email, but because I've locked my attribution window down so small to try and stop it sucking in my subscription box payments, which has definitely worked in the last year, then it says 26% for me. So don't ignore email. I look after email for clients as well. Can send even one email a week, ideally 2. I really feel like 2 is what you should be doing a week. 1 to a big segment and 1 to a smaller segment. Every week you should be doing that, even if it's updating them on what you're doing in your, behind the scenes of your business or what's happening on social media. One of my clients is really, actually, no, 2 of my clients are really active on their organic social media, and much of the email content I put together for them and the strategy I give them, the drafts I put together for them to look at and approve are from their organic social media. What's happening, because they post what's going on in their business, what products they've got, the latest, thing they're doing, and what's happening in their real world. Much of what I put in their emails is a bit of a reflection of what is happening on social media. So there are ways that you can do email well without having to create, like start from scratch in the sense of reinventing the wheel. Because my clients who I look after email for them, they both get significant revenue from my email. It's not like their email is dead. They are getting as much revenue from email, if not more, when based off of a percentage of their total revenue. In fact, one of my clients is getting more than 30% of her revenue from email when it compares to her Shopify revenue. So basing your email strategy from what you're doing on organic social media is not a bad strategy at all. Like, you should absolutely be doing that, because doing email is better than not. What would your business look like if it had 30% more revenue next month? In a year's time, what would your business look like if it had 30% more revenue than what it does now? From email, from a service you can set up, build emails, schedule them. You could do a month in advance and just let them sit there and run. You can have flows that sit there and run automatically. Like, reach out to me, let me do this work for you. Book a discovery call and we can chat about email marketing. If you want to see your revenue jump 30% in the next 12 months without spending more on any advertising platform, without spending more on Google ads or TikTok or Meta, without going to the next big fair that you've got to spend $1,000 for a stall at. If you want to do something that's far more passive, is the wrong word, automated, in-house, without you having to be out and about, and you want to be at home in the evenings instead of setting up for a big market stall on the weekend and you're out the door at 3 a.m., then what about email? Because so many of your competitors are not emailing. They're just not. Like I said, the couple of big brands who I would never unsubscribe from because I love their emails, even their emails, I don't read them all, and I often delete them before I even open them, and I would never unsubscribe. So try and think about email from your customer's point of view, not just what you think. Because I know you're potentially thinking, I don't want to email and pester my customers. They're not pestered. They'll just delete it. Don't worry about it. Like, you need to stay in touch. It's actually worse not to stay in touch now than to reach out too often. The start of 2024, big changes came in with Google and emailing service providers that meant that your deliverability would be hurt if you didn't stay in touch often. It's the opposite of what makes sense. I know it really is. It really is the opposite of actually what makes sense, but it is true that your email will succeed better. You'll get more revenue across a 12-month period from email if you're reaching out often to a specific segment of users, not just everybody, but a specific segment of users every week or every 5 days or every 3 days or every 14 days, depending on the segment you're contacting. That's actually the way it is now. You're better off staying in touch more often, keeping those users as part of your engaged pool of users rather than them falling into unengaged. And then that kind of means they start to never see your emails. So start emailing. Sort of the lesson from that one point is, like, start emailing. It is a silent revenue driver. But if you had an extra 30% of revenue in a year's time, you would notice that. That would help you stand up and take notice. You'd be like, that is incredible. I cannot believe I did without that 30% for so long. So don't do without it. Go ahead and fix it. Reach out to me. Let me look after your emails for a month, or go ahead and start emailing your customers in Klaviyo. Lesson 4 from July, and my statistics I share with my ROAS and my doubling of my revenue, is I sort of just shared the combination of ads and email. They really are a compounding effect. People see my ads more, which means they get to my website more, which means they sign up to my email more, which means they then get my emails more, which means my revenue is growing more from email, et cetera, et cetera. So they absolutely work together. I think you get more out of your ads when you do email marketing, and I think you get more out of your email marketing when you run ads. My engaged segment in Klaviyo in the last 30 days has grown by, I didn't look at the percentage. I'm trying to think how many people. It's not huge. So depending how big your Klaviyo users are, this may seem like a huge segment or a tiny segment. My engaged profiles on Klaviyo have grown from 1,100 to 1,500. That's my engaged users in 1 month. And that is down to my ads. My ads and my pop-up when people get to the website and joining my email list and becoming part of my engaged segment. So that is a reason that you, like, if you needed a reason, there's a reason to be running ads and making sure that you have a pop-up so that people want to jump on your email list when they come to you from an ad, because only good quality traffic is going to sign up to your pop-up anyway. So I wouldn't worry, don't worry about the whole I'll get all these junky signups. It'll be all crappy bots and stuff. Like some of them are. You need to clean your list. It's like it's no. Yes, you should be cleaning your list for sure. But also, if you're driving good quality traffic, don't drive traffic. Don't do a traffic campaign in Meta. Drive good quality traffic. Then you're getting qualified leads. You're getting high quality traffic who are signing up to your email. So that's my lesson 4 is the combination of ads and email. They really complement each other and they compound. Email turns these people into repurchases as well. So my returning customer rate is 50%, which is actually down, thank goodness, because it was far too high last year. It was on the road to disaster. It was going to burn out last year. But now my returning customer rate is 50%. Still probably a tiny bit too high, but because I have a subscription box, I'm probably okay with that. That's a significant chunk of revenue that will be recurring every month. So 50% of my customers are returning customers, and they come back again because of email. Sometimes they see an ad for sure. My retargeting ads, of course, like anybody's, have a really high ROAS. They do really well on Meta. I get a great cost per result and cost per purchase for those. But the bulk of those people are converting on my email list again and again and again and again. I need to check because I did a bit of a celebration of my customers a year ago, and like did a who's had the most orders, who had their very first order. I think I did something like who came from my hometown, who has the same name as me, who what else did I do? Can't remember, but I did a little celebration and sent some free gifts. It was really fun, some prizes. And one of them was for a customer who had placed more orders than anybody else. And at that stage, a year ago, it was 52 orders. And she still orders now too. She's like a long time committed, super grateful, super supportive. I'm so grateful for her customer. I need to go back and look. I need to do that again. That was good fun, doing some gifts for customers based on different parameters. So like I did for who done the most orders. I did one for the first time purchaser. I did one, that's right. I did one as well for like my birthday. So who shopped on my birthday? I just picked a customer. So I did some random ones where you don't have to spend, you don't have to be the highest spender to get a prize from me. You could come from my hometown, or you might have placed an order on my birthday. It was fun. I should again that was good fun to do. And my customers, of course, loved it. So that was anyway, my point to that was that they come from email. These people buy again and again because of email marketing, only because of email. Without email, well, this is what I do. I do emails for clients and I do email for my business. That is how I've grown. That is a key pillar to why I have been successful in growing an e-commerce store. Lesson 6, products that drive the win. There is a very common saying in the e-commerce world. It's probably true. I just don't like it, but that's for me to get over, is that 20% of your products will drive 80% of your sales. And so if you're looking for ads, if you're looking to decide what product to create an ad around, choose your bestseller. One of my winning ads recently in my own e-commerce store in July that got me results of $9 for brand new traffic, a cold user, $9 per purchase in July, was my bestseller, was because I did some ads around my bestseller. My bestseller is a really high touch product. It's a bit customizable, so I have a lot to do with creating it, which is why I actually don't often advertise it. So that's a problem for me to solve. That's a different problem to solve about how I can systemize that manufacturing process better with my bestseller, because I should keep advertising it. I'd be silly not to, because it did so well. But that is one of the reasons why I haven't done a lot of advertising around it, because it involves a lot of time for me in creating it. It's a really curated product. It needs a lot of my time and attention. But the lesson learned there is, it's probably true for you as well, that 20% of your products will drive 80% of your revenue. So if you're looking to start a new ad campaign, a new suite of campaigns, you're looking to build some new creatives to start next and to launch next, build them around your bestseller. Create some video, some images, some carousel, and some infographics around your bestseller. That's what I would suggest to do. So lean into the products that drive the win for you with your ads and with your email as well. So this wasn't luck, July, for me. It was a lot of strategy. I spent every day doing something in my business. And it is very true that where our time and energy goes, the results usually follow. So that is a universal truth. None of us are exempt from that. It's often the case that the time and the energy you put into whatever is where the results follow. We see that everywhere in life. Hey, it might be true in your career, in your family, in your business, in your sports, in your hobbies. All of those things are true. Where our time and our energy and attention is directed, the results usually follow there as well. So it is, I spent significant amount of time through July in my e-commerce store, and I was really looking to cement some good results. I was really thrilled. They were better than I had expected them to be. So my revenue was up 97%. My email revenue was up 30%. And my ROAS in my ads on Meta was 2.5 ROAS. So I'm proud of that. This episode is, like I said, a little bit braggy maybe. It's not one I would often do, but I encourage you to book a discovery call with me if you want some support with this in your own business around either email marketing or your Meta ad account. Like, you can put your discovery call straight in my calendar. Just book a 20-minute call and we can chat about your business, where you're up to and what you're struggling with, and the results you want to see next, where you need to move the needle. And let's get some results for you, like get you some customers and some revenue, and get you some systems set up with your email, especially if you feel like you just parked email and done nothing with it. You want to move that train along, get it working for you, get it making some money for you. Hey, and that's what we're here to do, is grow a business. So thanks for hanging out with me this episode. I'll see you guys next time. As always, keep learning.